I think we can start.
I think we can start.
Let's not wait anymore.
Okay. So my name is Victoria Hall and I work at Kind Premium.
I'm Adrianna Lisiecka and I also work at Kind Premium as a real estate.
Find information as well as easily connect with people who can help them, because the jungle of property in Poland can be very complicated.
Exactly. So let's start. What I need to do first?
Well, the question is simple and not simple. I think the first thing with this budget, we need to know, are we going to pay by cash or do we need a mortgage? When it comes to cash, it's basically simple. The transfer between country and country is not a problem. The only thing we need to do is the notary has to state that the money is going to be in a different currency than it is in Poland. At this point, we have a problem with the Belarusians and the Ukrainians who cannot transfer money at this point. So they have to prove that their money is legal, which means they have to open a bank account in Poland, put that money into this bank account. And for the country, this is in some way proof that this money is legal, and then they can go forward. Also, if they are carrying cash from the border, they have to have this certificate that they carried cash into the country, and that the border, let's say, officer stated how much they have. Now, on the other hand, when it comes to a mortgage, then in my opinion, I would advise to go with a financial advisor who will take you step by step through all the process and what kind of documents, especially with this mortgage, if you're going to get the mortgage in Poland, what you need, what requirements you have to meet in order to have this mortgage in Poland. Now, I think the most important thing is that if we're talking about buying property in Poland, the most important issue is, are you a European Union citizen?
Yeah, actually, this is a huge difference, because when you are a citizen of EU or European Economic Area, also Switzerland, you don't need to worry. You can buy everything you want in Poland as normal Polish person. But if you are not, then it's begin to be more complicated. And maybe you can tell us some more about that.
Okay, and you're right. This is 100% sure. Yeah. If you're a non-European citizen, then for sure, the whole process becomes more difficult. Why? Because the Polish law contains exactly all the laws containing purchasing property in Poland. And this is very strict. Moreover, this is about purchasing land. Yeah. This is about the land. And with purchasing property, especially land in Poland, we will need permission. So this makes it more complicated. And I think the first question should be, what kind of property as a foreigner, so non-European Union citizen, can I purchase without this permission?
Okay, so you can buy without permission few things. Okay. Independent flat, independent garage or share unit, but you need to make sure there is no road share. Okay. Also houses and detached buildings, but also make sure there is no road shares, and community property also you don't need a permission for.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But the most important question, maybe not the most, but also important question is, who can buy in Poland without permission?
That's good, because now we know what kind of property we can buy without permission. Now we need to know who can buy property without permission in Poland. The first and most important issue is that we need to have or show proof that we have some kind of bond with Poland. For example, grandfather, great-grandfather, and we are Polish, and we prove that we are still Polish citizens. We can buy property, land, we're talking about land, without any permission. Then the second person is a resident who lives in Poland for more than 5 years. no problem. You can purchase land without any problem. The other issue is when one of the spouses is Polish,
Okay.
and you are married for more than 2 years. So you can also purchase land without any permission. That's not a problem. The other issue also, if you are, let's say, long-term citizen of the European Union, so we're talking about also being a European Union citizen, then for this, you don't need permission to acquire land. Of course, when you inherit property, this doesn't mean that you have to ask for permission to be able to be the owner of land. Of course, this is your land because you have inherited. We won't be talking about companies and so forth because that could be a bit more complicated. But I would like to state that, for example, if you are a limited liability company that residues in Poland and is registered in Poland, then for that also you will not be treated as a foreigner, so-called, but you can also purchase land and without, let's say, permission to have this land. I think also good for whoever is listening at this point to know we have stated what we can buy, who can buy, but maybe let's put it really clear. When do we need permission to buy? When do we need permission for property to buy this property in Poland?
Okay, so I will tell you about 3 most common situations. First, I already told you, road share. Yeah, you need to make sure there is no road share. It's about the land. Yeah, then you for sure need permission.
Permission for sure. Okay.
But what is also important?
What we need to remember is that even though we see that, for example, I will need land permission or I will need because there's a road share, this doesn't mean that we cannot buy this property. It only means that we will need permission. This permission can take, I think, from 1 month to 6 months, depending on what property we're going to buy. But also what we need to know, which is more important, that if we ever, in some, I don't know how it would happen because the notary basically checks this, but if it happens that so, you buy such land without permission, remember that this purchase is invalid. So this will not be counted as property. But to actually get this permission, it's not a problem. It's all about showing that this is for your own cost, for your own use. It won't have anything to interfere with the defense of the country and definitely not in the areas of the border. And with this, I think basically you can buy this property.
Okay, but now tell me, how can I check that there is no road shares, no it's not close to the border? I can check, but also can I check about the land and other things? Where can I get all this information?
That's a very good question because basically that's the most important information you need to know. And I think all of, let's say, my foreign customers always ask me, what is this kawu? So we have this thing called Księga Wieczysta in Poland. And basically this means land registry or property registry. This means that every property or land owned in Poland or not owned in Poland that is in Poland has a number.
Okay.
This number is public. And when you're buying property, basically the seller will give you this number. And when you have this number, you go online, you check, and with this, you can check whether this contains shared road, land, what kind of land, or do I need this permission or I don't need this permission? And knowing that whether you need permission or not permission, this kawu, so this Księga Wieczysta, this number, will give you the information you need to know. Now, we've talked about the kawu, we've talked about who and what we can buy. I think also a good question is, how much does it cost to buy property in Poland? What are the costs of buying property in Poland?
Okay, so the cost. So when you finally found your dream place to live, you need to be prepared for some cost. And the first cost is deposit. So it's 10% usually. You sign like pre-agreement and then you pay deposit 10% of the property value. What else? Sworn translator, it's important. At the notary, it's required in Poland. If you are not citizen of this country, you need to have one. PCC, 2% of the property, it's like a tax.
Yeah. And I think here it's very important to state that this PCC, so this tax from property, from owning property, this is not a tax that only foreigners pay. This is a tax that everyone in Poland has to pay for acquiring and purchasing property in Poland. So everybody pays this.
Yeah. What else? Also cost around the mortgage. If you take one, your credit advisor will tell you about that. And notary deposit, it's also option you need to pay for. What about property tax?
Exactly, the property tax. First, we have to pay this 2% for purchasing property. But in Poland also, after you've acquired the house, the flat, you've already gone through all the process. You need to go to the city hall and tell them that you have acquired this property. And then they put, let's say, a tax for having property in Poland. And this is not as much as 2%, but it depends on what district, what area you bought the property from, what kind of property it is. And basically, it's an annual tax that you pay for owning property in Poland. And this one also, everybody pays it. Not only foreigners, but everybody who has property in Poland has to pay this tax.
Okay, thank you for that.
That's Poland.
Now, Victoria, I have very interesting question because lots of my foreign clients, customers asking, do I need a lawyer when buying a property in Poland?
That's a very good question, and I've seen that everywhere. I've seen that online. I've seen people asking about lawyer. And to be honest, it seems like the most obvious thing that when it comes to law, then this should be a lawyer, that I should ask for help from a lawyer. But when it comes to Poland and real estate, the real estate market, most of the knowledge that is about the market, you will get it from the real estate agent and from the notary. When it comes to this law, they know about how the market works, how the law looks like. When it comes to the lawyer, they don't really know that much about the property market as we do. So at this point, I would definitely advise a real estate advisor or a notary, because also I should mention, I have worked in the past with lawyers, helping them buy property. And unfortunately, I find that they complicate issues that are simple. No, I'm not saying that lawyers are bad, but when it comes to real estate in Poland, I should state that definitely I would go with a real estate advisor or to the notary, if the notary can give me this kind of information.
Yeah.
You asked me a question.
Yeah.
Now I need to ask you a question because I get this a lot. A lot of my customers or clients always ask me, Victoria, so if I purchase property in Poland and I die, what happens to my property?
Basically nothing. It doesn't go anywhere. It will be inherited to your family or whoever. So you don't need to worry. It will go somewhere, to the country, to the government. It's your property forever.
Forever, ever?
Forever, ever.
It's forever yours. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have all this set. Why do you think it's important to have a really good, and let's say good, we're not talking about the other market, but we're talking about a really good real estate advisor?
Yeah, so I would recommend to work with a real estate advisor, and you need to pay attention if your advisor speaks fluent English and Polish, so he's able or she to explain you all the important information. And the best would be if they are specialized in working with foreign people.
Exactly, and I think here you touched a very important issue, is that working with a real estate advisor who knows what the problem is and how to help you go through it will make the process much, much easier instead of all the stress.
Yeah, it should be a pleasant journey instead of stressful experience.
Exactly, that's true.
And also, before we ask some questions on Instagram, so we already answered, but let's make it clear once again. And the first question was, I'm a foreigner and wants to buy a property in Poland. I'm allowed.
Yeah, okay, I'm a foreigner, but we need to, specify that. am I a foreigner and am I from the EU, let's say, area, whatever you can say about that. Am I a non-European Union citizen? Yes. Also, at this point, I would have to say, if we're talking about Great Britain, then we have a big problem, because before they could purchase property in Poland without any problem. But because of the Brexit, at this point, UK citizens, especially, well, the whole Great Britain citizens, have to ask for permission to buy land in Poland.
Okay. Then another question. If I'm a citizen of Poland, but I live already many years outside of Europe, and my husband is a foreigner, when I come to Poland, when we move back here, can I buy a property? Do I need a permission?
Exactly, but this is one we also spoke about. Yeah. If you can show the connection with you and Poland, there shouldn't be a problem. If you're married, so you're the Polish person and your spouse is not Polish, but you can show that for 2 years you have been married.
2 years, yeah.
More than 2 years. So the 2 years is the over, where after that, then basically you don't need permission. But you have to show the bond between you and Poland if this citizenship is still valid, yes? Okay.
I think we have also another question from Paulina on the chat. Hey girls, how many years I must be a resident in Poland to buy some property?
Would you like to answer this one?
Yeah, so 5 years basically.
Yeah. Over 5 years, you have to be a citizen of Poland to be able to buy property in Poland.
Yes.
Was that answer good for you, or do you have anything more to say?
Yeah, if you have any other question, or they will come up a little bit later.
Yes.
We will share our Instagrams and email address, so we can also schedule some consultation about that. And the next week we want to invite you for another meeting, another live about.
Exactly, because next week is also going to be interesting, and I think this is the jungle for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're Polish or you're a foreigner. We're going to be talking about mortgages. Yeah. We're going to be talking about how to prepare yourself, what you need to know. And more or less, I think this is one of those topics that I wish that our financial advisor will be rolling over on the floor, trying to explain this to us. But be sure to join. If you have any, let's say, questions to this point, let us know. We'll try to answer as quick as possible.
Definitely, yeah. And about the mortgage, also you can send us, and we will answer that next Thursday.
Remember, which is I think I like about this series of ours. These are free consultations where basically you can ask us questions, and we will answer, so that whatever issue is going through your mind, that you are thinking, lawyer, no lawyer, real estate advisor, buying permit, whatever, we can answer this for free for you, so that you don't get lost in this jungle of property.
Yeah, I think that's a great conclusion
Exactly.
from all of that. Yeah. We hope we answered all your questions. As we said, you can still contact us.
Yes. And I think what we wanted to do, because we didn't want to make this long, we wanted to make this as a small, let's say, component of all the most important information that you need to know, so that it's not prolonged too long, but you get all the information dot by dot, exactly what you need to know.
Yeah, definitely. Paulina just answered, yep. Thanks for interesting field of the knowledge. We also thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And
what do you think?
Next week.
Does it look like a wrap? I think we can wrap.
Our assistant Jeremy is behind the scene. Yeah. So thank you.
Jeremy, was it good?
Yes, it was great.
Thank you. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.